restaurant?
Yeah. Because we had coupons that we were offering, and then we didn't realize they don't start till the 21st.
Oh.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And then my feet gave out in my heels.
Yeah,
Like a solid 2-hour expiration date time. It's funny.
Well, because whenever you're just standing around and walking, so yeah.
Yes.
And I kind of figured that was going to be the case because he's like, who's going to go? Because I went to the luncheon they had like the week before, I think. And I was like, no, you go to that one. I'll stay home with the kids.
Ha! How old are your kiddos?
5 and 11 months.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
We have a 5 and a almost 8-year-old going on 25.
Oh,
Child.
Yeah, that's our 5-year-old.
She's gonna make me get many more gray hairs.
Right.
That looks good.
Make sure you block it out.
Okay. Alright. So it's great. Oh, there.
So you tell us when we're live and
We are live.
We are live. No one beating. I
You're
guess.
live. You've been told.
Surprise.
You've so been advised that you're live.
Did you get your coffee?
I have to go do that.
Very important.
Yeah, so one thing I want to frame the conversation around is consistency. What do y'all think about that?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like it.
good
I
enough.
like it.
Alright, Kelsey's going to have the schedule of events. I'll go first, then we'll roll through, and then it's going to be a conversation.
It's just a conversation.
And then we're going to be like, oh wow, it's over already? So,
Yeah.
yeah. That's how it goes. Alright, this
You
looks
can tell-
good.
you can tell
This
it's
right here is
long,
for
like,
YouTube,
The notes and the
Facebook Live,
Okay.
and then Anchor is going to be just audio, and that's going to be on the phone here. So audio is going to so Facebook Live is live, of course. The audio is going to be available right away, and then I'm going to take this audio and upload it to YouTube once I get last week's audio downloaded and uploaded up there.
Got it.
Okay, so we're working on it. We're working on it.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Yes. Alright.
I like this.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab.
Did you get your, what was it again?
Lavender oat milk latte.
Yeah.
So what's in there?
Or what lavender flavoring.
Uh-huh.
And then it's with oat milk, and then it's just a latte.
Huh.
What did you get?
Just regular coffee.
She told me about this at the networking event the other day, and I kept saying colate? A colate? What's a colate? It's like, no, milk latte. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I might have tried it if I would have known beforehand, just to try something different, but
Damn, good stuff.
Well, you know, this will empty eventually.
it will, yes.
will be empty
You
eventually.
do have a point.
Yes.
I needed more of that just straight coffee morning, finish waking up.
I understand that.
I like how homey this place is though. It's like so local. Just kind of.
Yeah, it's a great place. Lots of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I like it. Yeah, I was telling her, I'm like, I love it. It's really cozy. Like, you really just want to come sit down on the couch and have coffee all day.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially the little library of the Stephen King books.
Yes. Which one is your favorite?
Either The Shining or I like Christine too.
Okay. Never read Christine, but I know all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Dr. Sleep?
I have not yet.
I want
have
to watch it. I had a nightmare. Okay, so I have not seen the second Conjuring movie. Okay, I haven't
Neither
seen
have
it.
I.
Neither have I. I was
But I
waiting for
had
it.
a
didn't see it?
nightmare.
I thought
I
you
had a
did.
nightmare about it last night.
About the second
The
Conjuring movie?
nun in the movie, the creepy nun, came after me in my dream. I've never seen you. And then we end up being friends at the end of my dream.
Oh, well.
Okay, so
She's
she's
really
a cool nun.
misunderstood.
Okay.
Oh.
She's just really angry.
Got it. You worked through her
That's
issues.
funny.
That's good,
We
right?
did. But I was like, why am I having this nightmare? I've never even seen
That's
this movie.
funny.
It's next on my list, but
Yeah, because he was asking, he's like, do you want to watch it? I'm like in the middle where I'm like, if you watch it, like, I'll be okay without, but.
have you seen the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I watched it recently with my friend, and so now of course we have to watch the second.
Here's
The
what
third one
happens
comes
with me.
out.
So she tells me I can watch it, right? I'm like, alright, cool, I'm gonna watch it tonight. Yeah, I'm putting my son to sleep. As soon as that happens, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly.
There's no, I won't even try.
Yep, I'm usually asleep within 5 minutes. Like my husband watching a movie, poor guy. He's like, babe, you didn't even make it past the credits.
And then he goes, goes, "You want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "I do, I truly do, but I don't think I will make it through it, so don't be upset at me when I fall asleep."
Yes.
He's like, "Fine, then let's watch something else."
That's funny.
It's actually there real quick. But I've been trying to watch it here. I think even yesterday I was like, I'm gonna watch Conjuring. Nope. This is my daily goal that I completely fail at.
Well, if I'm gonna watch a new scary movie, I'm gonna research it and find out what all the scary people look like, and like find out the backstory and find out what happens in the end. Because I can't be surprised. I have to.
You have to kind of know. You have to
know what's coming.
So would you watch it during the day or nighttime?
It probably, well, I don't know, just depends on how my kids are home.
Okay.
So, we watched that Haunting of Hill House, the TV show on Netflix.
I haven't seen it. It's good.
It's very good. The first season is terrifying. The second season, not as bad, but still really good.
We're still backed up on shows, so
Yeah,
it's horrible.
We were barely starting to get into balance after the 5-year-old,
Yeah.
but then now we have an 11-year-old, so it's just gotten worse.
I tell her I want a
It went
whiteboard
from-
in front of the TV for any movies that come with our advertised. Write it down. Okay, so we can see that. She thinks that's not.
I think that's a great idea.
No, it's the great idea. It's the
There it is.
delivery of the great idea I don't like.
Gotcha.
Nothing against the lids.
Is that
There's
another
not
one
the
of those metal
whiteboard in my
doors too?
living room.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
the
think
problem.
See the notes
I
app
don't
with
know,
your
it's
phone.
awesome.
I think that's a regular
Yeah.
for it. Oh, that's right.
We've been live for a while. Yeah, they're hearing us talk about movies and
Yes.
books. And
That's awesome. We're going to be
children,
excited to listen to that.
These guys are like, what are we tuning in?
Okay, so we're going to turn this on, and then if you're listening on Anchor
A lot of times.
video,
You sure?
I know, so does my watch. It's a problem. Thank you.
You're coordinated.
That's why I left mine on the side, because
Excellent.
it's inevitable.
all right.
Something
All right, you and I are going to have to like get cut in half, or maybe just me.
It's fine.
All right. The guest needs to be on. I'm okay. All right, hey YouTube. All right, hey Anchor. Hello everyone. Welcome to Coffee with ThreeCo, podcast that shares the stories of Southern Arizona's most interesting people and their local businesses. I am one of your hosts, Jermaine. I'm the founder of Untitled Partners, a small business support organization that believes anyone can monetize their passion. And vital to business success is networking with business experts. But networking is generally inconsistent and time-consuming. Business owners had a service that introduced them to personalized business connections based on their business needs and their preferred days, times, and locations to meet. The networking would be effortless. So Imperion Partners provides that service. It's called Introduction Networking, where the business community comes to you.
And hello, I am Kelsey from kelseyfarley.com, and if you are a local Tucson business looking for more visibility on social media, I would love to work with you. I'm a mom of 2 elementary school aged kids. And I did. I'm almost there. And we really love finding new places to take our family around the Tucson area. So I would love to help you reach more customers and increase your presence online. I do offer free 30-minute consultations, and if you'd like more information on that, you can visit kelseyfarley.com. And today we are accompanied by the beautiful
Thank you.
Livia.
There we go.
Kind of beautiful. Your name is thank you. Hi.
I have a new name today. So I'm Livia Almandos, and this is my husband.
My name is Carlos Almandos.
And we are your Southern Arizona Farm Stores area representatives, and we'll be talking about that later, right?
Perfect. Yes.
Awesome. Wait, what's
Perfect.
Oh,
next on the list?
Next, we're going to talk about what we're drinking. So
Okay.
we are at Big Heart Coffee, wonderful coffee shop here in Tucson off of East 22nd Street. Is that right?
Yes. East 22nd Street and Mountain View, I think, is across the street. 1 block away from Swan. I think it's
Yes.
6242.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And we have some delicious coffee here. I am drinking a lavender oat milk latte. Oat milk latte.
Not colate.
Not latte. Feels like a doctor appointment.
Yeah, I know.
Jermaine, what do you
I
drink?
have, that's a cool movie name too. I have Dirty Hot Chocolate, which I really like. Usually I get hot chocolate. I'm slowly gonna be moving over into teas, and I'll be having teas on here too. But I've been drinking a lot of coffee recently. This is me weaning myself off of coffee. So dirty hot chocolate, 1 shot of espresso.
Well, I'm not weaning myself out of coffee, so Americano for me.
And I'm actually just a copycat, and I have what Jermaine's having, dirty hot chocolate, but I have 2 shots of espresso.
Oh,
cheers!
Fancy.
Oh, it's gonna be a long day.
Cheers. Yes.
We had one guest at one guest on our previous podcast, Power Passion and Coffee, did a cheers like on our 16th episode. And we were like, wow, we have to keep doing this. And I forgot about it until right now.
Well, there we go. Let's bring it back.
Should I write it in my notes? So
Yes.
we have
In the agenda right here.
Add that in. Okay. All right. So what's next on the agenda?
So
Now I don't have to think.
yes. Well, let me finish writing because I can't talk and write and think all at the same
Believe
time.
in yourself.
So, perfect. So tell us a little bit about farm stores, how it came about, where you came from. We'll go from there.
Sure. So Farm Stores, it's a double drive-through convenience store, grocery, bakery, and cafe shop. It started in Florida in the 1950s, and we're bringing it to Arizona. So it's new to Arizona, but it's been around since the 50s.
1957.
And actually, Carlos grew up with it in Florida and Miami. So, I
Yeah.
know.
So it's one of those things that in Miami, Florida, it's a staple of Florida. If you grew up in Miami, you know the store, right? It's farm stores. You need something quick, you go. It's a double drive-through. You go in and out, and you're back home. Basically, we basically target families, okay, working families, people with kids in their cars. Just something, if you need something right away and you ran out of something, whether it be in the morning or in the evening, coming back, you go into our store, you grab, you know, your item, whatever it is that you need, you come out something, maybe you can get some fresh baked loaf of bread or something like that, but you're in and out. It's a double drive-through, cars come out on either side of the store, somebody comes out to you, to the store. It's not a speaker or anything you're talking to. Somebody will say it's more personal.
It's a personal
We are a
service.
convenience store. We have your staple grocery items. We're not trying to replace your weekly groceries. We're just trying to get those items, and we want to be near your neighborhood.
But we are trying to be your morning coffee stop and breakfast. If you're in a hurry on the way to work, hey, you forgot your breakfast, right? Well, we have fresh little breakfast, empanadas and breads and different things.
Awesome.
So, you know, in the morning, you're on your way to work. It's awesome. Us having kids as well, we know that grocery trip in the afternoon where you're like, ooh, pasta night. Ooh, but I forgot the bread, like on the groceries, like on the weekend. Well, no worries. You stop at farm stores and you get fresh baked bread in 3 minutes in your door. And by the way, hey, are you want a milkshake for the kids, or you're missing some produce, whatever? Well,
Eggs for the morning, something.
you know, so you got it. Saturday morning comes, and how many times has it happened? You make pancakes, or you make something,
You're out
like,
of pancake syrup.
or you're like, I don't have enough eggs, right? Or the pancakes are done, and you're like, oh no syrup. Now you have to change, go to the store. Well, not with farm stores. The idea, it's a neighborhood store. So the idea is you get in your car in your jammies and you drive through, get what you need, and you're right back at your house, possibly in 10 minutes or less.
I go to the grocery store in my jammies anyway.
Well,
But
you're
now I
one
don't
of
have to
few
get
people.
out of my car.
Exactly.
But it's even better, you know. So it's the convenience, the neighborhood personalized feel to it. We're in your neighborhood. We're part of your neighborhood.
We want to
and
be your
community.
neighbors, right? And the time savings that we provide is valuable because our concept is, hey, spend less time in the groceries, spend more time on the things that matter most, right? Whatever it might be, your family, whatever your passion is, like you would, right? So that's what we're trying to provide to the community, that time savings.
That's amazing.
Interesting. So how long have you been working with farm stores here in Tucson?
I want to say we started the conversation in August of 2019. We didn't actually come on board till about April last year, 2020,
So
right
just
mid-pandemic.
About a year,
Okay.
right? Where we were already, we knew we wanted to be part of farm stores. He grew up with it, and then doing research, of course, talking to the company, and we're like, we want this. This is something Arizona needs, and we would we'd love to be those people to bring it to.
So I'd like to know more about that process. So how did you get to the point where you said this is something that we're going to consider, And then what convinced you to join and be? So you're a franchisee, or what are you?
We're area representatives. We're basically investors.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
In other words, we're the liaison between the company, the home office in Florida, and whoever the franchisees are going to be over here.
Okay.
In other words, that way you have somebody local to hold your hand, walk you through the process, and not leave you. In other words, we're not trying to just sell you a franchise and be like, okay, peace out, we're out. No, we're trying to actually help you succeed. Right? We're going to walk you through the process of getting you in, getting your site selection going, and then getting you going from that point.
Okay, so
but to answer your question as to how I started with this, like I said, I grew up in Miami. I joined the Air Force in '99. Okay, they sent me for 5 years up to North Dakota. I'm a Miami guy. Okay, they sent me up to North Dakota, froze my butt off for 5 years. Okay, so at the 5th year mark,
Sorry, I was there when he found out that he had to go to North Dakota, and I still remember laughing at him.
Oh yeah, because
20-some years ago.
I met her in training in '99. Okay, right at the time, so I went through training. I knew she was from Arizona, and then I got sent up to North Dakota. So I was like, I need someplace warm. I didn't care where I was going, but the Miami guy wants someplace warm. So where do they send me? Yeah, Tucson, the hottest place. Yeah, exactly. Right.
I was in the Air Force as well, so.
Yes.
Oh right, awesome, nice. So yeah, so 2004 comes around. They send me over here, and I got here, and I was just like, I kind of wanted to start a business, like a side business, just kind of looking. And the first thing I thought was like, there's nothing like farm stores here. So I reached out to them actually back in 2004, 2005 timeframe, and they weren't franchising at the time. Come to about, I want to say 2016 when they kind of opened up the books to start franchising. I had forgotten about it. And then we started the conversation. We've been talking about franchising for a while, right? You know, kind of, hey, how about this? And it just didn't fit. And then I remembered, hey, let's check on farm stores again. Well, guess what? They're franchising now. So at that point, it kind of opened up. It's like, oh, hey, you remember farm stores? Let's do it. You know, so we talked about it and kind of like, you know, pros and cons and everything. And I think it was just a good fit, I think, at the time.
It was. We had been having the conversation of, hey, we need a business. What do we want to do? And we have been researching for years. Different franchises, could we open up a restaurant? Could we do this? Could we do that? And there's an infinity of business things that you can do, right?
Right.
But not everything's going to be right for you, and if it's not right for you, it's not going to be right for your customers. Right. So it took a little bit, but we circled back, and I grew up with little, not so established like a farm stores where it's something that people recognize, but just little drive-thrus, and it was like your milk and juice and stuff. I grew up south of the border, so you know it was not an unknown thing for me. Mm-hmm. But then, after having our first kid, the convenience of it, and we're like, we need something. Yeah. You know, it brings that need and that awareness that we didn't have before, right?
Interesting.
When you're in the car and all of a sudden you gotta stop by because she calls, it's like, oh yeah, or something,
Yeah.
whatever
Hey,
it may be,
I
and
forgot dinner.
the kid's in the car. Now it's a whole fiasco. You're talking about at least 50 minutes of kind of getting them in the car, going, and then making sure they're staying away from the toys because they want everything. You know, they're no. We watched the movie yesterday.
Oh, we haven't watched that yet, but
it's cute. It's cute. But that's us. It's literal. It's like no. So 50 minutes later, you're out of the store, and now you're driving back home. Farm stores, it's not like that. Farm stores, you go up. Guess what? The people that are operators they know you. Again, they're in your neighborhood. Yeah. Okay, so they know you. So they know your kids. They go grab, hey, guess what? Here's some cookies for the kids. Here's something. It's a more personalized. We're not transactional. We're relational.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So do you have a physical location now?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're working on the first location in the Marana area.
Oh no, you'll do more.
That's good. I'm in Oro Valley,
so Marana is the fastest growing business area in Arizona right now.
That's exciting.
So just based on that, and like we said, it's a neighborhood store, right? So no kidding, we're trying to bring that first store in our neighborhood because we believe in it. We're passionate about it. Okay. It's not just a slogan. It's no, we truly believe in it. Like when he was saying, it's a fit. Like we believe in it. You were talking earlier about consistency, right? Well, the stores are consistent and have been consistently successful because they provide that customer service and people come back. You know, you're a mom, and it's not, oh, hey, what would you like today? It's like, oh, hi, Mrs. Smith or Kelsey. Hey, how are the kids? Hey, are you taking your breath today? Are you, you know, if it's a usual, it's that feel to it, you know.
Right.
So
sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your
Are
name.
you back?
That's
Are you
exactly
back
what
for
it is.
coffee?
exactly, like, hey, are you gonna have your usual, you know,
Yeah.
latte or your americano this morning, or are we
Right.
doing something different? And that's
Right.
the idea, where it's where you feel comfortable. And not only that, but so it's across states, right? Across the U.S., it's growing, and depending on where you are, they're partnering up with the communities, with schools, and another aspect of it that we both love, I think, is most franchises, it's a structure, right? And they tell you this is what you will have, this is what you will offer, and there's no deviation of products or anything like that. Farm stores, it's an 80-20 balance, where 80% of it, sure, farm stores, you know, you have your brand and your blanketed items, if you will.
Mhm.
But 20% you bring the local community in. I can bring the lavender milk latte. I don't know. I just remember milk.
That was perfect.
But you know, but I can bring, you know, the local grounds. I can bring the local bakery. We have a large Hispanic community where in Miami it might be more towards Cuban or Central America. Where here it's maybe more a Mexican side to it, but still, like, where you can bring those local items.
Yeah.
And
Farm-
have that liberty to do that. So
That's
that's an aspect that we love, because you're
Yeah.
incorporating that community in your community, you know. So I don't know, I love, that's part of one of the biggest
Yeah, farm
reasons
stores
that
basically
we
likes to
grow.
look at at the community through the eyes of their franchisees. In other words, the franchisees, whoever gets it, they know what the local community likes. You know, corporate doesn't know that. They know that.
Mhm.
So they provide that information, and of course, you know, products have to be vetted and everything. That's just standard.
Mhm.
But you're able to involve your community and actually support local farmers, local bakers.
That's terrific.
Yeah. So at this time, what where are you guys, like, what does it look like for you guys right now? What are you working on? What process are you in?
So again, we're working on buying that first piece of land for the
Okay.
first location in Arizona.
That's so exciting.
So we're
So
working
this
on
would be-
that.
This would be the first in Arizona. Like
Yes.
The first in Arizona.
Yes, this is what
Okay,
we're working on.
that's very,
Truly
very cool.
putting
That's
the
so
very
exciting.
first farm stores in Arizona.
Okay.
And then
And-
hopefully we'll expand and be everywhere,
That's
right?
very cool, because I was thinking it was the first in the area, but okay.
No, it's in
that is
Arizona. It's the
terrific.
first
In Arizona, yeah.
Okay.
So which makes it
So what we're doing
That's
right now,
exciting.
Kinda
there
cool.
are possible, what you're saying, we're looking for franchisees. In other words, we're looking for the people that want to start a business, entrepreneurs, people, investors, people that want to invest in the store and put somebody, a general manager in there to run the store, right?
Okay.
So we're offering franchises all the way from Yuma County to Grant County, okay, all across southern Arizona. So that's where we're at right now. We're actually looking for franchisees. So if anybody's out there wants to start their own business, you know,
Wow.
or is looking to invest in a new business, definitely reach out to us.
Yes, I'll
Yeah,
connect
yeah,
you to
we're-
Matt Bernier. So, so my oldest business friend here in
Mhm.
Tucson. So a little bit about my story. I'm from Jersey. Got here when I was 23 via the Air Force. I was in for a few years. Popped out in 2017. Started a business and started networking with people, you know, all around the area. And I lost my train of thought because my brain literally
Mark Renee.
loves to have a million thoughts at the same time. So I don't remember why I was going with all that. But continuing with my story, having so many people, actually talking about consistency, having so many people that I've learned and connected with over time. One thing I wanted to mention was one of the ways. So I popped out in 2013.
Mhm.
So for 4 years I've been an entrepreneur, business owner, and doing and trying to figure things out. And my current company, Imperial Partners, and ThreeCo, these are my, you know, this is what everything boiled into, you know. And over the years, there have been people who are just like me, who they're just shifting and changing, and what they're
Mhm.
doing changes. Some people came out the door and they had it, and they went, you know. Some people went out the door and went like this, and you get to see all of that. And one thing that really shows whether or not someone, I think, has whatever the it or the thing to continue going is really just persistence and perseverance. You can see it in some form or fashion. And one of those ways is being consistent on social media.
Mhm.
Anyone who's consistent on social media, really, it's whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're talking about, it is a way of being to be consistent in anything, to be obsessed about anything,
Yeah.
right? And so it shows sort of a part of your character. So I had a Facebook group, and how we connected was through my Facebook group. The most consistent person in the Facebook group, and then when I closed it, you also became one of the most consistent people just online on Facebook and on Instagram. You know, so I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Yeah, right? So that's something that when you recognize, you're like, oh, okay, he's like doing it now. You know, you're not like, you don't come out to talk to tell people things and then like go up into the mountains and never really learn and being on the ground. And what you just were talking about, how the person on the ground knows what the community needs, not the person in the office who's in Florida, who shouldn't be saying, listen, we shouldn't have these type of grounds, we should have these type of grounds for reasons that don't make sense. So here at Big Car Coffee, there are about 6 local roasters who are here. You know, they all work together as this whole community where it's really a handshake, I know you, you know me, name situation. So. Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
don't know why I went down that road.
No, that's awesome.
That's awesome, because that's the part where we're like, awesome, now we know another local place where you can come back and say, hey, I like your coffee in our stores, you know, because it's,
you
that's
make
the
that
whole
connection,
point.
that relationship.
Absolutely.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So we wanted to chat about consistency, and you had mentioned earlier how as the brand Farm Stores, you are consistent. What does that look like? Like, what are you looking to take from the Florida franchise and continue that on to here in Arizona? What do you like most about it that you want to keep consistent?
I think the number one is that, again, that neighborhood feel of, you're not just the customer, you're Kelsey, and you drink whatever it is you drink in the morning, and we know that.
Yeah.
Because it's personalized. And I think that consistency of including you, I think that's number one, right? Not talking chain and products and that kind of stuff. But as we move into like Farm Stores itself and consistency, well, they have been consistently successful because their formula works, right?
Right.
So there's certain aspects absolutely that we would keep or that you want to keep because success. It's a proven concept. It's a proven formula, if you will. They've been around since the 50s, right?
I'm gonna say we've been in the game since 1957, so close to 65 years.
So consistency.
That we've been doing the drive-through thing.
The look, if you guys look it out there in the website, it looks old school. It's truly like a red farm and the cow. He's got the shirt.
Yeah, got the cow right there.
So sometimes people that are not know what Farm Stores is, they're like, what is it, right? Because it's not. If you see Farm Stores, it's not like, oh yeah, it's a grocery store, it's a drive-through.
Right.
But that's the consistency of, I don't need to tell you what it is because once you learn it, you're gonna love it. So
I get it all the time on social media. They'll ask me a question. So you guys are a feed store? No. You guys sell farm equipment? No.
You'll probably get a lot of that.
I get that all the time. So it's the part of it right now is what we're trying to do is besides getting the franchisees is telling the story of what Farm Stores is. And it's hard to say it sometimes just based on an image or because that concept still doesn't come through. You really need to talk to somebody and explain it to them and kind of lay it out. Once you kind of explain it, all of a sudden it's like their eyes are like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know, so
So let's talk about like your strategy because you're talking to 2 different people. You're talking to the individuals who are going to go, who have families who want to go. They want the convenience. Like, yes, I want a farm store in my area. Absolutely. You find someone, and then your job is to go find that franchisor who's going to be there and take it over.
Yes.
So what is your ideal franchisor? So we know we want the families who want convenience as a customer. What do your ideal franchisors look like? What do they sound like? Like what are
somebody definitely has to love customers, has to love customer service, right? 80% of our customers are return customers.
Wow. Okay.
Again, we're near your neighborhood, so we need to have somebody that's personable, that's actually willing to take on the store. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody that would like to invest in there is going to be in it, but they're going to put somebody there that's actually likes their job and appreciates it, and basically takes care of the customer. Like really takes care of the customer, not hey what's up, kind of wants to know you and you don't understand that feedback that you get from the customer when you have that on the other side. It's you feel that It's something you want to go back to.
So you want a self-motivated, persistent, hardworking person, right? That's just not gonna set up a store and leave. Someone that's gonna nurture it and it's their baby, right? Whether you're managing in a daily basis or whether you have a manager, but again, it's that you're gonna take care of that store and the community. So that motivated, hardworking. Of course, if you have experience with retail or prior franchises, it helps. But we're gonna tell you this is the first business that we venture into it. We could also have a store if we wanted to. Prior military are on the top of the list because for the most part, and I'm also a veteran, we get that training, right? We have certain things that we're like, we know how to do things without someone checking on you. It's ingrained. There's certain things that we have ingrained
And we know
in
how to
us.
follow a system. Right?
We get the do certain things a certain way because that's the way it is and that's a franchise. But you also have that liberty of, hey, what about this? What about that? And make it better. But again, it could be anyone really that's willing to put the time, the motivation, the energy into it. And then at the end of the day, you need a little bit of money. But Farm Stores is one of the most affordable franchises as well. So if you compare it out there, and that was another reason it's a very reasonable amount and doable for someone that's starting up a new business. You don't need $1 million like you would big name franchises. You don't need $500,000. You need way less, and you can make it start.
Yeah.
So what does the support look like for the franchisee?
So in terms of initial development, so it's us, right? We are basically we're the boots on the ground.
Starts with us.
Right? So we're the boots on the ground. Now,
I'm gonna guess you love customers, so I'm gonna.
We are.
Yeah, we are
We're
very
very
service oriented.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that comes across.
I like that.
Well,
a little bit.
And you being prior Air Force, you understand. He has 2 career fields, but we're services. That's what we do. Like, actually love services, not like depending on your experience. So, customers is just ingrained. It's part of.
Right.
It was the right career move, and it's just going to the next.
It's when you can feel that in your bones that it's what you're meant to be doing, what you should be doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's like clarification that that's amazing.
It was that moment of we're doing this. It was I'm so scared, but I'm so excited, but I don't know how to pour everything out.
Yes.
And that's when we knew we were on the right path because we were both I want to do it, but I'm so afraid, but we hadn't had that with any other thing that we had researched, looked into, and we're like, this is a great business, but we were like, that was not there.
It was very mechanical. It was very just.
Right.
It wasn't.
I understand it. And to the customer piece, my first customer product experience was in the Air Force as Intel, where my supervisor was referring to our briefs as a product.
Right.
And I was like, okay, my brain just had never done that before. So it was such a new thing. And they're like, your customers, whoever you're talking to, but they're not, of course, they're not teaching me about customers. It's just words that are being used. So my brain was like, okay, I guess. And the commander, whoever I'm talking to is the person who needs the thing. So whatever they want. And so what I did naturally in one thing they told us as Intel was everyone's going to assume you know everything and that you can do everyone's job. So make sure you just shake everyone's hand, everybody learn what they do. You learn as much as you can because they're gonna expect you to know it. So I go around, shake hands with everybody, but you know.
I can't help it. Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Same way, that's what they told us.
I should know everything. You tell me.
External customer, so.
Yes. So doing that made it so that when I had a briefing, so our briefing was supposed to be 5 to 10 minutes, but mine would be 20 minutes to half an hour because throughout the week, people would tell me what they want to know. So I just have things in the brief that, of course, the commander wants overall, or what I know we should be looking at, and then what the little things everyone else wants that are individual. Okay, and I made it look nice. I stole some other briefing and actually got coined for it. Stealing a briefing and some training, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is so great! You upgraded this, and it's so awesome." want like something special or something cool, just something new, something fresh, you know, and that's all it was. So that's how like I serve the customer by doing something.
Yeah, you basically customized it for them.
Yes.
For what they needed to.
Yes.
There's nothing that people love more than something that's customized for them as a consumer.
100%. So I'm not gonna tell this too. So I'm meeting with my software developers yesterday, and we're talking about the newsletter that we want to put out, and they're having the software put out the newsletter. And so someone comes on and says, "Hold on a second, are you talking about a customized personal newsletter for each person, right?" And then he starts like breaking down another software developer chimes in, and they're talking back and forth. And it's not what I'm talking about, but I'm like, this is such a good idea. This is what I'm talking back and forth, right? And so Bonnie eventually comes off and she's like, but no, it's just a one-time thing. And I take myself off of mute and go, but that's a great idea, though. We're definitely going to put that in the back burner. Because if to think that I can go onto this app and what I'm going to see is, you know, what I want to see, because for my business, it's people join because they have aspects of their business they want help with.
Right.
So to know that you're going to get an email or get information that you decided that you would get, it's not random stuff, nothing that you're going to hate, you know, like is happening. People like punching you in the face with words and all these different concepts and stories. The ability to customize your own experience, I think is one of the future moves for businesses, and it's for brick and mortar spaces. Experience is what you're talking about. So when you were talking about coming in and the shaking of the hands and knowing your name, all of that is experiential. Every time, you know, the Starbucks person messes up your name, and they're like, oh, they messed it up again. You know, Starbucks is marketing, and you have a story to tell, and that's an experience that's being provided for.
Right.
So that's exactly what you all are talking about. That new experience. I never walk into a grocery store and house. Hey, Junior, how you doing?
Right.
You're getting the same thing that you get all the time. You're in here at least, you know, a few times a month, you know. But it's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And I don't think about it. I'm not like disappointed.
Right.
But as we're having that conversation and I compare, it doesn't make what you're talking about.
I completely. And it goes from how the company operates by itself within, you know, us, the area representatives across the country. We say, hey, somebody to join the Farm Stores family, because literally it is like a family. The way the company reaches out to us and everything, it's a family-oriented business.
Right.
And with that, I think translates through to the customer.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like when you're dealing with a local business or a family-run business, you will get that more customized feel or more. They're going to know you better than a big chain location.
Right.
And that's something that is wonderful about visiting a local business, is because you're like you said, you're like family.
Exactly.
That's what you look for when you go
Absolutely.
places like that.
Yeah, it's the balance of that family run, but you're still a franchise.
Yes.
So that business aspect of it, I think it's important, right? Like whoever's looking out there for, I want something structured. Like I don't want to reinvent the wheel, right?
Right.
Like there's this structure set up already, this system where you can make that system your own, but it's still there. You don't have to reinvent everything. So it's that perfect balance of franchise but family run.
Yeah.
And it brings that balance
For
to it.
a new business
That's what
owner,
we're
it's
talking
again, that's one of the beauties of franchising. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're not starting from scratch. Farm Store sets you up for success. In other words, at that point, though, it's up to you. It's up to whoever the franchisee is to make it work or not. There's a lot of variables, obviously, locations. And
What does that process look like? So hypothetically, I want to run and own a farm store.
Sure.
I didn't get the name for a second. I want to say farmhouse for a second. Farm store.
We
So
can make
what,
it a farmhouse. It's okay.
So what does that process look like going forward?
So typically the first step is either you heard us, saw us somewhere and contact us, or you go online and there's a quick, hey, I'm interested, and you put your name, your email, your phone number, and then it circles back, you're in Arizona, you're going to get a phone call and email from us saying, hey, you're interested, what's up, who are you, let's get to know you, and if this is a fit for you, have a conversation, right? We want to try and make sure that you are right for the family, right? And that you want to be part of this family. So we're going to have conversations. We're going to say, hey, all right, next step, do a little bit of company, hey, enter information on the computer, right? Once people have a lot of questions, right? Company questions that, to an extent, well, I'm not gonna give you all the information on our first conversation, but if we're moving forward, then you can talk to corporate, you can ask more specific questions, you know, once
We're building
we
that
move,
relationship.
go through that. As we get to know that potential franchisee, they're getting to know us and how we work, right? But in between, let's say you've done the conversations, you filled out a little bit of paperwork, you know, get the information you want, and you say, this is what I want. Well, we're here locally to assist, to talk you through the process, to answer questions you might have. And if we don't know the answer, guess what? We're gonna call corporate and say, hey, we need help with whatever it might be.
We're gonna assist with initial training. We're gonna also do recurring training. And one of the main things is we wanna make sure, and when it comes to the financial side of the house, that you're financially qualified to get it, right? We're not trying to, you know, I can barely scrape by with the minimum and get you in, and now guess what?
We want you to be
awesome, you know?
successful.
We want you to be successful.
We're not gonna set you
trying to
up for
put you into a
failure.
hardship.
Yeah.
Because there's two methods of getting into that we have right now. We have the turnkey option, which basically means that farm stores, along with our developers, buy the land, they go ahead and set up the building for you, they set everything up for you, and we can get you into a store for under $100,000. Now, we do say $150,000 total because we want you to have about $50,000 working capital for you for operating expenses. Okay?
Inventory,
Right.
marketing, advertising, grand opening, like people don't think about
Yeah.
certain
100%.
costs.
Yeah.
So yes, and we can tell you minimum to, if you wanna buy the land and buy the store yourself, now we're gonna go higher, right? The range is higher, but there's
Right.
options.
So that was a turnkey option. What she's talking about now, she's moved it. That's basically kind of like you build your own. In other words, farm stores will provide you with the plans to the store, what it's supposed to look like, and then it's up to you to buy the land, get the developer, build the building. But at that point, you're owning the building. What happens in a turnkey option is farm store sets everything up for you, but now you're paying a lease on the building, right? And of course, you know, utilities and anything else, like any business. When you're doing your build your own option, you're basically buying the land, buying the building, you own that. The only thing now you're paying farm stores is the royalties.
Wow. So
Okay, so that's a little bit more expensive for somebody who has more capital.
So, and going back to the process, right? So once you're in and you're like, I wanna do this, I'm gonna be a franchisee, and the process is set, you're gonna be part of the decision making on the location. Where are we gonna look for this next store? Where are we gonna put it, right? Is it your neighborhood? Is it your mom's, your grandma's, your cousins? Like the need, right? Again, you're local, so you know where that is. So you're gonna be part of that decision making process of location. And then that 20% of what are we putting in that particular store, right? Because up north it might be like nice coffee and the different lattes and the flavors, where maybe on the south side it might be more of like, hey, we want local bakery items or something different, where the emphasis is a little bit different.
Like
That's
in
sort of a
Louisiana,
thing.
or one of our stores in Louisiana was doing
The crawfish.
crawfish boils. They have
Ooh.
boudin,
Yeah.
certain type of sausage. That's very local to
That's
Louisiana.
very right.
Yeah.
And then you have Texas, where one of the stores, their barbecue is big. You know, it's just because that's what they do, barbecue.
There are a lot
So,
Yeah.
so every store in every place is gonna be slightly different, yet the same when you drive through and you get that awesome. You know what I mean? So the consistency of, it's personalized, but it's farm stores. You're not gonna get, farm stores Arizona versus farm stores. No, it's farm stores.
Yeah.
We hope that you love it, because that's the idea, consistency, but with the local touch.
right on. And so is a double drive-through, can you go in as well, or is it only a drive-through?
Oh, good question.
So it's designed to be a drive-through, but depending on locations, there is locations where there is a walk-up
Right.
option. Again, because it might not fit in that community, right? Or we were learning zonings, like some areas you just are not allowed to do double drive-through.
So it's a single drive-through.
So it's a single drive-through with a walk-up window. So primarily,
Yeah,
double,
like in-
but it can be tailored depending on where
Yeah.
you're putting that
Now,
store.
will you see that you've got a longer line then if you like don't have the walk-up option, or just the single drive-through? What will that look like?
So generally, the walk-up option it's not the norm.
Okay.
Okay, that's something I know in Kentucky. There's a concept where they have the double drive-through along with the walk-up, right? That Kentucky hasn't opened up a store yet, Generally, we try to do a double drive-through for that reason.
Yeah.
Right? The lines. Now, when you have a single drive-through, it makes it a little bit harder, but Farm Stores doesn't try to be on Main Street.
Okay.
Right? We don't want to be on a main thoroughfare.
Okay.
Kind of. We want to be like off of Main Street,
Okay.
near your neighbor.
So less traffic.
So less
Yeah,
traffic.
okay.
In other words, you're not causing that traffic jam, which would be a
Mhm.
nightmare for the city to even allow. Right? So that's something that we take into consideration
Yeah. Okay.
to definitely allow.
That's great. Okay.
So, yeah, no,
No,
okay.
go ahead.
So I want to go back to your decision to even start a business. So of all the things you could have done, for some reason you went into the 10% world, start a business where only 20% of those businesses even last 5 years,
Mhm.
right? That's the world you jumped into for whatever reason. What's that reason?
You want to go first?
Sure. I think for me it started, my dad was a businessman, so I think I grew up with that concept ever since I remember, what do you want to do when you grow up? To me it was like, I'm going to run a business, duh. But I never knew what, how, when, anything. Life happened, joined the Air National Guard because, I just wanted money for school and it was just and developing who you are. I think the Air Force and ending up in the services career field gave that sense of customer service where it was right, and it just helped develop that. I think it was just ingrained.
Mhm.
And then us as a couple, we talked about it. Yes, we want to do a business, and again, we didn't know what. We just knew that was what we wanted to do at some point. It's hard to explain like that specific, like
Right.
why or
Mhm.
how.
That'll
But
the itch that you don't know what.
Yeah, but we've had that itch of
Understand.
like, well, we could do a restaurant, we could do so many things, but it was like, well, we can't do that now. We have to wait, or this or that, and just through the years having the conversation. How about this? How about that? And here we are because we found it. Farm
It
Source
seems
was this
perfect for you because you grew up with it, and
Yeah.
it just kind of you waited till the perfect time when they were finally franchising, and it just seems like it just was the perfect time.
It just
It
fell
just-
into place for a
It
lot.
just
Literally,
made
just kinda
sense.
worked
It's
out
like
that.
we were getting the little puzzles, and we're like, oh, they're franchising now. Last puzzle.
Yes.
I
What's
think
that
we're
word?
done.
Serendipity kind of.
Yeah,
it's not a
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Just
All of
fell
that.
right into that. Because
Yeah.
how I wanted to start a business was basically, I like to start like she said, right? So I mean, being a kid, I started a job. I worked in a restaurant. I worked in a movie theater, and I liked it. But I liked the customer service. I liked the interaction. I like making a difference in somebody else's life. Even the smallest little thing, making their life kind of just a little bit better. That little spark. Hey, you're having a rough day. Oh, hey, I brought them up. Okay, and then I joined the military, and it just kind of working. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're working all these long hours in general. If you were to have a regular job, why don't you work for yourself, work for your family, work for the community, and then customize something for the community that you're able to provide? In other words, build a legacy, right? Not just build a business, kind of build a life for everybody, by being able to control that. So that's kind of where my business kind of itch came. Like, I think I can do this better than just being a worker. I can kind of try to customize and make these things better for people.
I think it's so cool that both of you have I feel like a natural propensity to want to help people, and you just found a way to channel it into something. Because I hear so many people say what you're saying, only you're putting it into words. They're usually like, well, I don't know what I want to do, but I know I want to help people. I know I like people. I know I like meeting people. I know I want to make the world a better place, right?
Right.
You're like, oh, specifically, I don't want to start a business, and you grew up with farm stores, and you both wound up going into a services, like being able to communicate with people and have customers that you got to deal with all the time. And it just so happens you thought about farm stores. This is a very cool story. This is a very cool story.
That's all
I'm not just repeating it.
No,
I'm just repeating it
we
because
love
it's
it,
very,
yeah.
very cool.
It's just it didn't just come from yesterday and then we woke up, oh, Farm Source.
Right.
No,
Yes,
it
that's
took
what
a little
I
bit. It
Yeah.
really did. But it again, because it was the right thing for us at that moment, and that's when we're saying, hey, we're gonna talk to someone that's interested, because that's what we wanted for you as well. Because if you're happy, business is gonna bloom, And if business blooms, then you're good, we're good, everyone's good.
Yes. Community.
It's that family again.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a business, but we all want you to succeed, and we're going to help you succeed, because guess what? We all succeed,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a combination of that personal need to help and the survival part of it. And yeah, we want to make money and have a future, right? So it's a combination of the survival and the community service and the working, and it just all comes in together.
We get really excited when we talk to somebody.
We are. I don't know if you can tell, but we're like
right. And we get really because honestly, when I'm talking to somebody and I've seen that they're a good fit for it, I visualize them already in the store. I visualize them succeeding. I already know if they're a good fit, how they can make it work, how they can improve their situation, whatever it might be. So that's my mindset when I'm talking to somebody about it.
That's terrific. I met at Stacy Fowler's event that we're all at. I met a real estate agent. Yeah, hey Stacy. And he's in a month. He's probably like 20 something like that.
Justin?
Early 20s. Yes. Yes.
From Remax? Yeah.
Yes.
I met him.
Right? And I asked his mentor a question: if I were a new real estate agent, what would you tell me? And she goes, "Well, why don't we ask him?" Right? So he gives me this amazing answer talking about connecting to your future, making sure your life, making sure you're financially stable, making sure you help. Just like this amazing answer, and I was like, I don't even have anything to say to you, man. Like, I'm inspired. Like, I need to go do something with my life right now. It was so interesting, and that's exactly what you're saying. And I really appreciate that. Even when you talk about Kelsey's blog, Margie here in my business, it's all about helping people in some way. With mine, I'm going to connect with business owners to help them connect to other business owners. With Margie, she's going to use the physical space to bring artists here and say, hey, you can put your art, you put your candles, you put your whatever you're making, put your jewelry here, so you can use this space. You're saying, hey, we have this digital space, and if you are local, we want to make sure you can come here, make sure families have some place to go. We want to make sure that places in the town are known. And you're like, hey, we need some local stores that have this combination of corporate structure and also family feel, homeliness that needs to come together. And we're all doing the same thing, helping the community, helping people, helping grow. We're just channeling in different ways. So it's really awesome to see. That's what I really appreciate about it.
No, I appreciate you having us, definitely. Helps us tell the story a little bit. The more people that hear it, the more people know what it is, right?
Yes, absolutely. So to wrap up a bit, we always like to ask where they can find you if they want more information. Where would we go to learn more about farm stores?
Sure. So of course the easiest is farmstores.com, right? And then you navigate through there. But if you would like to call us, we're at 520-353-3414.
And are you guys on social media?
We are.
We are.
Okay.
We're on Instagram,
Okay.
Farm Stores _Arizona, and on Facebook, Farm Stores Arizona. You can find us there.
So send us a message there. The phone number, you can either text us or call us. Again, 353-3414. If we don't answer you immediately,
They probably don't like you.
Yeah.
we're probably screening. No, but you can also it's a textable number, or leave a voicemail. And if you don't leave a voicemail, I'm going to call you back anyways. When I see your missed phone call, because we're those people.
Right.
We get it. It can be intimidating to make that first step and that first phone call. So
and again,
we're there.
Yeah. So franchises, again, we're offering them from Yuma, so all the way to Grand Canyon. That's all of southern Arizona. So it's not just a Tucson thing, or we're offering it all across the board. So definitely, if anybody's interested, I know we were saying we're just trying to start up in Marana. That doesn't mean that if somebody from Yuma calls us and is super excited and it fits where we want to be, that we're not going to open the first one there.
Absolutely.
It just really, it's all on timing, right? So it really depends where we're at. We need about 1,500 households to support a store. Kind of what we're
I'll be one.
Okay. You'll be one, definitely. And we'll definitely have you there.
Right away, yes.
You got 3.
So, there you go. Please, so that's where you can reach us. Definitely, if you guys are interested, or have any, even if you have any just questions, reach out to us. Definitely, we can tell you more about it. There's only so much we can say, and there's might be something we missed. So definitely ask us the question. That's going to jog our memory.
All right, great. And so we're going to have business owners who we want to cultivate this audience for. And one thing I thought about with your mindset is, what books are you reading? What books have you read? Like, what do you suggest we go out there and gobble up?
I don't know about business right now because I'm reading a lot of kids' books.
With Winky Dinky Donkey, or have you read that one?
No, I haven't
No.
read that.
That's cute. There's two of them. They're adorable. They read it in my daughter's class. I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah, distraction.
That's just one book, alright.
I know. I'm trying to think of the Coyote book.
Well, with the Yodi with the flea, I forgot what it was. We bought it at the desert. Was it the Desert Sonora?
No, we bought it up in the train station in Flagstaff.
In Williams, okay.
Williams, yes. But my child is into a jungle book that he got from the zoo, and it's Sink and Peek in the Jungle. We're a local fan. So that's the one book that I can't get away because he loves it, and it's like an everyday thing.
Okay. That's cool.
Sorry, I can't give you a business one right now.
So I'm bouncing between different books right now. I'm listening. I'm an audiobook guy. Okay. Because I honestly don't have the time to sit down and read. I'm so like going everywhere between work and this and everything. So it's audiobooks. It's about if I'm driving to work, it's those. It's so much easier. But right now I'm thinking bouncing between Christine.
It's not business. It's not really a business.
It's not really a business book. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Millie There Next Door. And I forgot what the author was. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
Jordan Belfort.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
Okay.
Have you guys seen the movie?
Yes.
So, yeah, and then I listen to a lot of podcasts. Bob Proctor,
Yes.
one of those guys.
Awesome. Yeah.
Gary V. You know, Evan Carmichael. Those guys. So I'm usually just kind of listening. It's a lot of podcast stuff that I'm listening to. I'm listening to you guys, watching your guys' stuff.
Right on.
Definitely.
Appreciate that. Come on, let me see the Hey,
Hi.
welcome. Our next guest.
Our next guest is here.
Fantastic. So we're just wrapping up. So that was books, and I wrote something else down. I don't even know what I wrote, so I don't even remember what it was. But I really appreciate your mindset, and I want to ask so you have franchise, whether it's a franchise, whether it's a blog, whether it's a coffee shop, brick and mortar, software as a service, whatever it is. What are some mental tools that the audience out there can use to just be successful, to be consistent, to just maintain themselves through all those up and down times? I think one thing that we didn't really touch on was that I thought about was the time between you're thinking about wanting to be a business in your whole life, basically, and having a conversation, and then having a conversation with farm stores, and then eventually getting years of just decision and talking and conversation. And that's something that doesn't get spoken about because there are no cameras, there is no show that's just the conversations you have where you're trying to figure things out, you know? So yeah, in those times, what kind of mental tools just helped you just go, well, it's not this one, but we're gonna keep going. Not this one, but we're gonna keep going.
I think it's the being realistic with yourself. You know yourself better, right? So you know what you like and what you don't like. So if it's a great business, but you don't quite love it or understand it to an extent where it's going to be a struggle to understand that might not be it for you, right? Because the development part of it is going to be different. But if it's something that interests you and you know about it, you're like, ooh, I could do that, or I would love to learn more about that, or yeah, I can totally cook, but I can't bake, so you're not going to open up a bakery, right? It might be a great business, but not a great business for you. I think it's that balance of being realistic and knowing, again, what you would like to do and what you don't like to do. If you don't like being up at 3 a.m, then maybe a coffee shop and a breakfast place ain't for you, right? See what I'm saying? And honestly, it's a process of elimination because you're going to go through a lot of no's and a lot of this is not it, this is not a fit, or we're in this together. So it's not just about what I like. It's about what he likes and what we together connect and can make it work for us and for everyone else. So from my end, I think that's the realistic part of it. Be realistic with yourself and your goals, right?
Yes.
Again, I've always known I've wanted a business, but realistically, when I was younger, maybe, oh yeah, I want to go to college, graduate, open a business. Well, I might have not understood back then that was not a realistic goal for me. And here we are, right? So that realistic goal of, when is it a good time? Do you have the money, you know,
Right.
the background for it, whatever that case might be, you know. So,
Yeah, and for me, it's basically like Livia was saying, just kind of look within yourself, just find kind of what's your gift, right? Everyone's got a gift, right? Like, what's the one thing that's effortless to you that you feel is comfortable that would translate more into a business? Now, there's some businesses that not every business succeeds, as you said earlier. But guess what? It's getting over that fear. You're gonna have that fear. Everyone has that fear of failure. But it's what that means to you when you fail, right? In other words, it's an experience. You learn from it. Take that experience if you fail and go ahead and move on to something else. You know, learn from it, grow from it. So, and it's at the end of the day, what keeps you going is finding your why. What's your why? Why are you doing this? In the back of your mind, because you're gonna have the hardest time sometimes, and maybe you're talking to somebody, you're not closing anything. You're talking to somebody, but you gotta, you know, again, why are you doing this? So you gotta have that in the forefront of your mind as to what's your why. So that's the thing. Like you said, consistency, and keep moving forward. Learn from your mistakes. You know what they mean to you. It's not just because you failed, it doesn't mean, oh, I'm not meant to be in business. No. You know, you might not be, but again, it's what it means to you, that failure, how you process that information.
don't be afraid to take the first step, the first phone call, write the first message. Again, you're gonna get a lot of notice in this lifetime with many things in life, right? But that's okay, because then that leads you to that one yes that's gonna be your yes, you know? So you gotta get all those no's and just, okay, this was not for me, and sometimes it's harder than, some no's are harder than others, and you get up and continue and
You keep going.
you know,
Like-
that why, okay, this is what I'm doing, and let's go again, and
Yeah, you keep going. Like you said from the beginning, when you first got out of the Air Force, right? You wanted to go into business. You did a motion. I'm not even sure if you even realized it, that you did it. When I started kind of going through, like you were doing, like you're clawing through this whole thing, right? You're moving forward, right? And that, like I said, I don't even think you realized you did it, but you did it. And that's kind of what it is. You're literally, when you're in business, you're literally clawing. You're trying to navigate your way and find your way. Not everyone else's way. It doesn't work sometimes. But find your way of how you can fit into something else.
Wow, that is awesome. And okay, so we're red here. We got 5
No, we're
minutes.
red. We got 5 minutes left.
So I have to mention this, right? So technically we're already wrapped up, but one thing that's really awesome is you are together and you're running a business together as well. And you have a family as well, right? What is that dynamic for the family members out there, for the people who want to start a business, who have a family, husband and wife who want to start a business together, and maybe a lot of the words are, don't do business with family, don't do business with family, don't do business if you have a family, and then just don't do business at all, right? How does your dynamic work? And I'm sorry that this is like the last thing we're talking about.
No.
Yeah, how's your dynamic, and what's some advice you have for other couples out there who want to go into business?
Balance. Definitely, you have to find that balance. There's times, obviously, where that balance, life doesn't care about your balance, and business will jump in front of you, and it's something you have to, but you have to find that balance, and it's a mental kind of check where you kind of have to just put it away for like a second and just find those little moments for you to enjoy your family.
right, and sometimes you have to balance it yourself. It's not going to happen, right? So sometimes we laugh about it and we go, separation of state and church, right? And sometimes you got to stop and, married couple, and sometimes it's like, okay, let's stop that conversation right now because we got business to get to, and it's challenging, and it can be challenging, right? Because we have our moments where it's like, no, this is not about us as a couple right now, this is about a business,
It's
so
about the business.
let's pause and change gears and talk about business. Or sometimes it's like, no, we're at the family table, let's stop the business conversation and, hey, Santi or son, right? Hey, how was school? It goes both ways, but you have to
turn it on
consciously
and off.
stop and say, hey, this is not the time for business, or this is not the time to be husband and wife. This is the time for that conversation,
It's trying not to be reactive, right? Be proactive as to how your emotions are. Don't let the world around is going to throw stuff at you. It's how you react to it, right? Don't be reactive. That's hey, be a little bit proactive. You know that this is going to, make that check in your mind and try to go with it. It's hard sometimes. It really is. It's very difficult sometimes. But you kind of have to find a way to do it.
Business me and mom me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Is this mom or is this business me talking, right? So, two different. It's almost like a little bit of a
Yeah.
different persona to an
Yes.
extent,
Mhm.
but you have to, right?
Right.
But yeah, that balance.
Yeah.
So right.
Balance is key.
That was awesome. So with that, we will end. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us.
man. Thanks,
Thank
Kelsey.
you all so much for joining us. Sorry, YouTube.
Thank you for bearing with
You too.
us. Yes.
Yes.
And thank you guys for having us and inviting us. It was
Yes.
a pleasure.
Thank you, and make
truly.
sure to tune in next Monday at 9 a.m. for our next guest.
Later, Tucson. There in Arizona.
Bye, Arizona. Thank you.
All right. Oh no, the live can stay because we're gonna roll right into it right now. So we just keep both lives.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So we're still
So
live.
we're gonna move out.
We're
Yeah.
still live.
Make space.
We're still live. Yeah. So if you're live, you can stay. We have a whole nother guest. Oh man. Yes. Thank you all so
Cool.
much.
Thanks,
This
Thank
is
you
terrific.
so much. This
Thank
was
you, Kelsey.
awesome. It's
Thank
great
you.
actually meeting
Yes.
in person.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
I've
yes.
heard
Hit
and
me up.
seen, but-
Yeah, we can-
Yes.
we can chat.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. And then I'll send you a sort of wrap up. Thanks for coming email with a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Okay, so that works.
Awesome.
Hopefully,
Thank you
sometime
so much.
between now and the next couple.
You got
months.
both our
You'll
emails,
get it. Possibly.
Awesome. Because she's got that car.
All right. Cool.
And one for Kelsey.
And there's a store in the back. You've seen it.
And there's the picture.
Nice. I'll throw this on the line. I'll take a picture. of it.
Yes, please do.
Please do.
Awesome.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
And hi. I'm Livia. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Carlos. Nice to meet you. Meditation, right? Love it.
Look, I'm gonna give you this anyways, and if you see this, if you
Got
want
you too,
anyone's
Kelsey.
interested,
Thank you.
have fun. Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You sure you don't want to end it so that it's two separate lives?
You know what? That's a good idea. Yeah. Actually, someone's watching right now? Hey, we're actually gonna end this and just start another live, so you can just stay. Actually, we'll have to start a whole nother live, but so we have to go to 3Co. Go to 3co.com and leave the event page. Bye.